I went to school here in Salisbury, and a year after graduating from university, I moved back here. So I've lived in Salisbury for a long time, and I still remember the original swimming pool. It used to be here on the field behind me. Obviously it's not here anymore. It was taken down many years ago, and every time I walk past this site, I'm still surprised. I still have this moment of, oh, it's gone. Do you know, sometimes the way that we think about things and see things is so ingrained in us that we never really make the transition when they change, even though the change may be radical and impossible to miss. And this is exactly what Jesus invites us to do, to completely change the way that we think and the way that we see things, because of a radical and wonderful change that he invites us into. Let me explain. If you're like most people, you have regrets. You live in the long shadow of past mistakes and failure. Your present is haunted by the ghosts of your past, and you just can't shake them off. To you, the message of Jesus is good news, incredible news. When you give your life to Jesus, he becomes Lord and Master of your present and future, but also of your past. Your life and destiny becomes joined with his. And the Bible says that this means that you've been crucified with Christ. It's a mystery, but it means that when Jesus died on the cross, you died on the cross too. So the old you is dead. The Bible says our old self was crucified with him. Notice the past tense there. It's already happened. So that the body of sin might be done away with, so that we should no longer be slaves to sin. Because anyone who's died has been freed from sin. The old you was unfixable. There was no upgrade or refurb that could put things right. So Jesus took it into the grave. All your old life has been done away with. Kaput, finito, gone. And when Jesus rose from the dead, you rose with him, but into a new life. One that has God's presence living within you. And this changes everything. It means that the landscape of your life is completely different. And this is why Christians talk about being born again. You see, Jesus offers you a brand new life. Now, don't confuse this with religion. Religion says that the remedy for bad behavior is trying harder and good behavior. Its solution to sin is to be more strict on yourself. But that doesn't work, because your sin or your bad behavior is still driving your choices. You're still a slave to sin. Jesus has a much better solution. Ditch the old life, get a new one, and be free. Now, if this is really true, you might be thinking, then how come I don't feel like I have a new life? What about those people I know who say that they're Christians, but whose life doesn't look very new? Great questions, both of them. How come I don't feel like I have a new life? I still sin. I struggle with the same old stuff. When Jesus died on the cross, you died with him, but sin didn't die. We tend to think of sin as a verb, something that you do, but the Bible presents sin as a noun, a being who is deceitful, lustful, greedy, and malicious. So the old you is dead, but sin lives on. Sin still tries to pester you. If you're tempted to sin, don't be fooled. Those thoughts are not yours. They're suggestions from sin. And the Bible says, count yourself dead to sin. Basically, ignore whatever sin says or does. Now that can be really hard, but Jesus promises to help you to get the upper hand in that battle, if you'll follow him. And what about Christians who are unchristian? Well, some of them have never really grasped this good news. It may be that no one has ever told them. So they have these two personalities, the church one and the outside of church one. And what they need to do is to consider themselves dead to sin. They need to stop listening to, arguing with, trying to change or trying to convert their old self. It's dead. It's a corpse. It's a complete waste of time. Instead, there's a new voice to listen to, God's voice. And he'll coach you into a new identity. He'll help you to unlearn old ways and to embrace new ones. It'll take time, but you'll be free. The Bible says you'll be alive to Christ, that you'll have this life in you and you'll have life in all of its fullness, that life will flow out of you like water from an underground spring, and that this new life will be so great that it will go on beyond the grave forever. Let me end with a prayer. Jesus, thank you for this wonderful news. Thank you for the gift of a new life. And my prayer is that if there's anyone watching this video who's never received this gift of a new life, I ask that you'd give it to them now. In fact, if you're watching this and would like to receive this gift, you can do so right now by praying a simple prayer like this. Jesus, I surrender my life to you. Thank you that you've done away with it and that you give me a new life in exchange. Thank you for setting me free from sin and from all of my past. Please help me to grow in the freedom that you've given me. We'd love to hear from you if you just prayed that prayer for the very first time. It's something worth celebrating, and we would also like to send you a Bible so that you can get to know more about Jesus. You can tell us your news by going to www.salisburyvineyard.co.uk/connecting, and at the bottom of the page select the button that says I've given my life to Jesus. You'll be asked for a few contact details and we'll be in touch. Alternatively, if you have any questions about anything that I've said or about what it means to follow Jesus, then we're holding online discussion sessions and you would be most welcome to join us. Go to that same webpage, www.salisburyvineyard.co.uk/connecting, and select Q&A online, and you'll receive an invitation to one of those sessions. Once again, thank you for watching, and I bless you to grow into the freedom that Jesus paid for you to have.